What's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMGWTFLOLFTWBRB, and welcome to episode 24 of Let's Play 2K14's 30 Years of Wrestlemania. In our previous episode, we challenged the Undertaker streak with Triple H in the end of an era that was battled inside of a Hell in a Cell. Here I am showing it off right now. And in this video, we're actually going to conquer two matches. We're going to aid CM Punk in defending his WWE Championship against Chris Jericho. And we're also going to compete in Once in a Lifetime as we help The Rock beat John Cena. But before we get to The Rock and John Cena, we got to start off with the battle between the best in the world. And there is no cutscene for this one. I'm kind of surprised they didn't give a little video for this. But the battle is CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. It is for the WWE Championship, and even though I'm not that big of a CM Punk fan, I did enjoy this match. I'll talk a little bit more about CM Punk then. At this time, I wouldn't say I was exactly a CM Punk fan. I was getting to the point where I really just wasn't liking him because of real life CM Punk, but I do respect the man for his wrestling skills. As you see, I am showing off the pictures right here. There is a Chris Jericho standing tall over CM Punk, I would assume. Here is another one of Chris Jericho actually standing tall over CM Punk. And then this one.
This contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the WWE Championship. Now a stipulation has been added that if CM Punk is disqualified, he will lose the WWE Championship. Introducing the challenger. From Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing 227 pounds, Chris Jericho.
Now, tell me why Jericho should get that unfair advantage from Raw General Manager, Mr. Clown Shoes, John Laurinaitis.
Well, because John Laurinaitis is in charge of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, he's forcing a no disqualification match for the WWE Championship tonight. Perhaps there was a method to Chris Jericho's madness of the past month, because Jericho has been trying for weeks to get into the head of CM Punk.
What do you mean trying to get in his head? The things that man said were absolutely reprehensible, deplorable.
Well, to listen to Chris Jericho, he's responsible for all this. You know, he invented everything. I mean, he's the root of all things that have happened here in the WWE. Everybody tries to emulate him, especially CM Punk.
And his opponent, from Chicago, Illinois, weighing 218 pounds, the WWE Champion, CM Punk.
CM Punk has lost the champion's advantage. Not only can Punk lose the WWE Championship via pinfall or submission, but Punk can also lose it via disqualification.
Talk about anger management. Somehow tonight in this match, CM Punk is going to have to manage his own anger, or it could cost him the gold.
And that's the question, King. We followed CM Punk's career. Do you believe that Punk can refocus his anger and his frustration? Do you think Punk will be able to do that tonight against Jericho? Or will he let it overtake him and perhaps cause a disqualification?
Somehow, some way, CM Punk's got to put all of the things that he's heard out of the mouth of Chris Jericho about his family aside. He cannot think about that during this match.
Well, there were the entrances. Let the copyrights ensue. As you saw, Chris Jericho came out with a red jacket. I'm actually not too big of a fan of Jericho's red jacket, but also as it was being announced that there, if CM Punk is to be disqualified in this matchup, he is going to lose his championship. And earlier on, King and JR were like, as they were going over, oh, how is that fair? Well, how is it fair that if Punk gets disqualified, that Jericho doesn't get the championship, you know? Like, it's not his fault. It was all a whole ploy around John Laurinaitis, who I believe at this same pay-per-view defeated Team Teddy Long to gain general managership over both SmackDown and Raw. That didn't last long at all. But this feud was actually a dream many people were hoping to see. Around this time, actually, believe it or not, this was when My Universe mode actually still started, was this year, 2012, I believe. Because I remember the whole program of, you know, we need to... Oh, real quick, before I even go on, our first objective we have to do is hit a top rope elbow to Y2J at ringside. So that's why I was at the top trying to do it, but I guess Punk doesn't have an elbow. He only has the Macho Man one. And we also need to hit a GTS, oh my god, I can't say it. Hit a GTS, not Esh, on Y2J at critical damage, I believe that says. And the other two objectives are hidden. But as I was saying, this feud all started with when we had these promos, you know, going on about it's the end of the world as you know it, and boom, hit the Macho Man elbow drop on the outside. Jericho is not at critical yet, so I am going to have to get him to critical damage before I use the GTS on him. And around the, you know, actually my first video too was the first Monday of the new year, 2012. And, you know, 2012 was, you know, supposed to be the end of the world, so it was fitting, you know, end of the world as you know it. We do have a new objective. It says escape the walls of Jericho. And I don't know if it means I just have to escape it, as in just make sure I don't tap out, or if I was supposed to reverse it. Nope, that's all it was. We just had to escape it, so we already did it. So our last hidden objective right now is to defeat Jericho with the Anaconda Vice. So at this moment, we still need to hit Jericho at critical damage with the GTS. And guess what? Check that off. We only have one more objective to do, and that is to defeat Y2J with a Anaconda Vice. Now around this time I wasn't sure if it was a finisher, or a finisher, not finisher. God, I'm just saying some weird versions of words here, but I don't know at this time if you know, the Anaconda Vice was a finisher or if it was just a regular submission hold. But yeah, I wasn't having too much fun trying to figure that one out. But let me go on about what I was saying. So, you know, Jericho returned to the WWE, and as you know, everyone suspected the end of the world as you know it. And Chris Jericho went on to not talk to the universe. Actually, brilliant move by Chris Jericho in WWE. Everyone knew Jericho was going to return as a face. There was no way the fans weren't going to cheer him. And the best way for Jericho to turn heel was to ignore the fans, and that's exactly what he did. And the fans started to get a little frustrated. And then we went to the Royal Rumble, and many thought Chris Jericho would be the one to win. I was hoping he should have won, and I really believe he deserved to win over Sheamus. But Sheamus did win after Jericho was the final participant eliminated. Jericho failed to capture the WWE Championship inside the chamber, which led to this match. The rivalry did get a little bit personal between these two, as Jericho, you know, brought CM Punk's family into it. I believe talking about I believe either his mother or his sister's alcoholic problems, stuff like that. And Jericho also became a new kind of character in the WWE, one that you see a lot of internet memes about lately, where he believed that he created everything. You know, he invented everything. There's a meme that goes around that says Jericho invented that. But it was pretty much that. Even though, by the way, Anaconda Vice is a finisher, and Jericho did tap out, so we did defeat Chris Jericho. I will give my opinion on this match later on in the video, or this rivalry I should say, but yeah, CM Punk beats Jericho for the WWE Championship, and he continues on with his long reign as WWE Champion. This was his historical reign. I'm going to let these two talk.
CM Punk proving on this night between these two men that Punk is the best in the world. I don't know if you get a matchup that is more even than that one was. Peaks and valleys, ups and downs. CM Punk remains the WWE Champion.
It wasn't that hard of a battle, honestly. CM Punk versus Chris Jericho was probably one of the easiest I've done in the game, but for winning that matchup, we unlocked the WrestleMania 28 arena, so that's great. We have a cutscene coming up, so enjoy.
We've both said the time for talk is over. You are the people's champ. Listen to the people. They want a match.
The Rock says, we make history. We do something that's never been done before. We make the biggest matchup of all time. WrestleMania 28, John Cena versus The Rock.
This is the part where I'm supposed to say, I look forward to WrestleMania because I personally respect The Rock. I don't. The first time he got a taste of the bright lights, he was out of here faster than I could say, Rocky, don't go. I'm here. I've been here. I'll always be here. You're going to have to kill me to beat me. The headline reads, John Cena defeats Dwayne Johnson in the biggest match in history in his hometown at WrestleMania 28.
You're wrong about respect. The Rock respects you, knows what you've done, but it doesn't change the fact that The Rock just doesn't like you.
I used to love The Rock just like you guys, and then he morphed into Dwayne and became a disciple of Team Filmin.
The Rock is gonna take his size 15 boot and stick it right up Cena's lady parts.
Team Bring It? He's Team Lost It, and the truth is getting scary. Because they weren't chanting Rocky last week, they were chanting Tooth Fairy. Finally, The Rock has come home, and he's never leaving again. And then he left again.
John Cena teams with The Rock. Never before, never again. The Rock and Cena on the same team just a few months before their opponents at WrestleMania. Oh no! Rock bottom to Cena. The Rock said he'd send Cena a message, and boy did he ever. That was the opening salvo for our next chapter, when the two best of their generations finally meet at WrestleMania.
Alright, not the best video package, if I do say so myself, that could have hyped this matchup, because this match right here, nerds and geeks, I don't care who you were, if you like Cena, if you like The Rock, if you hate Cena, or if you hate The Rock, you were looking forward to this match. I was looking forward to this match. It is once in a lifetime, WrestleMania 28, the great one, the People's Champion, The Rock, takes on the leader of the C Nation, the face of the WWE, the leader, the Doctor of Thugonomics, I almost said the leader of C Nation again, John Cena. It was such a huge, big deal of a match, and, well, I'm not going to go into what happened later on in the history for this matchup. I will go over a lot of things. You see, once again, I am showing off the pictures. Enjoy the entrances.
The contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing 251 pounds, John Cena.
Oh, this is so much to soak in, even for this young man. He's loving it. Look at this. The Rock is making Cena wait. Making Cena think about what's about to go down here.
And his opponent, from Miami, Florida, swinging 265 pounds, The Rock.
The spectacle that is WrestleMania. This is it.
Two faces of their generations. Two icons in their prime.
Oh, man, this match epitomizes WrestleMania.
I'm not entirely sure if they're going to talk again, so I'm just going to start talking here. Cena with a very quick entrance, not much said about him, and apparently not much said about The Rock. I guess the announcers don't have much to say about this match. They just want to see the damn thing. But this was actually, in my opinion, one of the greatest feuds of all time, and I have no fear saying it. This feud was really heavily publicized feud. A lot of people, myself included, thought this was going to be another Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels kind of feud. Because from what I understood, John Cena and The Rock legitimately didn't like each other. But I hear different things nowadays. Maybe things are changed since they've gotten to know each other a little bit more. But around this time, from what I understood, they didn't like each other. And we saw in episode 22, I believe, The Miz versus John Cena was practically the launching pad for this match, because I believe the day after WrestleMania, it was announced Rock versus Cena next year. And the build-up really didn't, start right there. It wasn't until, SummerSlam, as we saw, where things started to get a little bit better for The Rock, John Cena, as we saw a little bit of build-up. Cena was going to be taking on R-Truth and The Miz. Believe it or not, R-Truth and The Miz were not main event talent. I would consider them upper mid-card talents at that time, and one of the most interesting characters on TV at that time with their conspiracy theory angles going on. By the way, before I keep going on, I forgot to do this in the last match. We have 2 objectives right now that are revealed. We have to hit a spine buster, or our signature spine buster at least, on Cena, and we also need to lock the sharpshooter on John Cena. 3 and 4 are right now hidden. But as I was saying, John Cena had to face The Miz and R-Truth at SummerSlam, and he was allowed to pick any partner he wanted, and he very predictably chose The Rock. Rock agreed. Rock and Cena beat The Miz and R-Truth at SummerSlam. It was honestly a great idea when you think about it. It was a way to, get The Rock kind of back in ring shape, because he's been out for a long time. He's going to main event WrestleMania, so they needed to get him somewhere, and well, they did it at SummerSlam to help him out. There we go, hitting the signature spine buster, which would reveal the objective for number 3, which is hit the people's elbow on John Cena. But Cena did not want to stay down, which unfortunately led to him hitting his comeback. Too bad, I am too good for you. Anyway, as I was saying, after SummerSlam, after The Rock and Cena beat R-Truth and The Miz, Rock laid Cena out with not a people's elbow, a rock bottom, and that's really about it. We didn't hear much about Rock versus Cena up in, until we got to, closer to WrestleMania is when things started up. Rock would start cutting these promos about Cena, making fun of him, calling him a Fruity Pebble, which has resulted in Cena being on, Fruity Pebbles commercials nowadays. Made the phrase boots to asses a very popular phrase. Cena fired back on his own things, telling The Rock that, he brought his shirt that says, "I bring it via satellite." He talked about how Rock just got on his horse and left. And it honestly felt like a pretty personal feud between me. It felt like there was truth behind those words. From John Cena did say some things about The Rock when he left that were not very nice, from what I hear. I never actually heard what he said or read anything. But yeah, these two, from what I understood, they just did not like each other. And I was excited for this matchup. Do It for Lucky / X the Mad Russian was excited. Every wrestling fan I knew, despite whether you like Cena or you like The Rock or you hate both of them, was excited for this matchup, nerds and geeks. It was just amazing to think that this was actually going to happen. By the way, objective number 2 is down. We have locked the sharpshooter in on John Cena. We do not need to, make him tap out, but at this moment I was just waiting for him to get to his breaking point. That way I can, weaken him in a little bit. Why do I have ×2 finishers all of a sudden? I don't know what I did. Maybe it's because of the objectives. I'm not trying to hint at anything. I'm actually asking a question here. I guess since I've already talked about my opinion on the build for this matchup, I guess I can talk about the matchup a little bit. In my opinion, and this is an opinion I share with Do It for Lucky / X the Mad Russian / John Olympian, the matchup was disappointing. I feel for a match of this caliber and a match that was really billed to be such a big deal, it was disappointing. I felt it was very, it just wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, in all honesty. Was the matchup bad? It wasn't bad, it just wasn't a match that should have main evented WrestleMania, in my opinion. They just weren't they just didn't go out and put on the match that I wanted to see. And a part of me blames it on, The Rock being ring rusted and, not used to being in a ring for this long an amount of time. He was, exhausted in the matchup. By the way, objective number 3 is checked off the list, not lips, as we hit the people's elbow on John Cena. We now need to hit the rock bottom and win by pinfall in 10 seconds, nerds and geeks. And probably one of the most simplest of rock bottoms, and we have plenty of time to pin him.
It's like the last team who got the ball won the game tonight. But The Rock prevails.
You know who the big winner was? You and me and the entire WWE Universe. Oh, this is great.
What a night. What a match. John Cena was dominant. John Cena had The Rock right where he wanted him. And then, so suddenly, so electrifying.
Well, I sort of agree with you. At least that's what I thought. But obviously, one mistake cost John Cena everything. Oh, man, what a WrestleMania.
And I do believe they are done talking finally. I want to talk about what they were just talking about there real quick. For winning this matchup, we unlock both John Cena and The Rock's WrestleMania 28 attires. What they were talking about right there was how in the matchup, the real match, of course not in my match because I made it look easy, nothing like that happened, but John Cena had The Rock where he wanted him, and instead of going for the pin, he went for the people's elbow on The Rock, and The Rock jumped up, hit him with the rock bottom to win the match. This would eventually lead to another match, but I'm not going to talk anymore about The Rock and John Cena. I feel like I have given all my opinions I can about these two. For the remainder of this video, just like the other videos, I'm going to talk a little bit about CM Punk and Chris Jericho's match. As I mentioned, I'm not that big of a CM Punk fan, and around this time was the time where I really wasn't... My apologies for the motorcycle coming out of nowhere, nerds and geeks. But as I was saying, I'm not that big of a CM Punk fan, and at this time I wasn't necessarily, against Punk as much as I am now. But I was starting to, not be into him as much as I used to be just because of his personal, real life, the way he was. The build-up for this matchup was not that good in my opinion. I thought it was a lame angle what they did with Jericho, using Punk's family against him. And I don't know, I just... The best in the world thing kind of was a flop for Chris Jericho. And his whole return that year was a flop. He ended up, I think he lost to Dolph Ziggler, which wasn't a bad thing, but then he returned at the Royal Rumble next year and then lost that to Fandango. I could be thinking of a completely different WrestleMania, but I think I'm right. I could be wrong, though. Like I said, nerds and geeks, but I'm almost positive I'm right. But I didn't really like the build-up for this matchup, and the actual match itself was a good match, but I find myself kind of blurry and not really remembering how much would happen. I do believe CM Punk once again tried to put Jericho through a table and unfortunately failed just like he usually always did. I could be wrong there as well. But maybe he did put him through a table. Either way, nerds and geeks, the feud between Chris Jericho and CM Punk to me kind of fell flat. The match was good, just not as good as they could have made it. The feud between John Cena and The Rock was great, as I mentioned before. The match fell flat in my opinion as well. Coming up next, nerds and geeks, though, our next episode, episode 25, will be our final episode. So this series is almost done and over with. My name has been OMG WTF LOL FTW BRB, nerds and geeks. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, Facebook, and Twitter to let me, not to let me, nope. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, Facebook, and Twitter to help the channel grow. And also, I want your guys' opinions. Comment below. Tell me your feelings about the feud between Chris Jericho and CM Punk in the match, of course. And the same thing for John Cena and The Rock. I want to hear your opinions on these. And do it on any of the past videos as well. And as always, nerds and geeks, I will see you in our final episode, episode 25. So until then, have a wonderful day, nerds and geeks.